I have 3 days in Paris, and here's how I spent day 1. There's a lot of things I want to pack into this trip, so as soon as we got checked into the Airbnb and dropped off our bags, I got dressed and ready to head out for the day. We walked over to this restaurant called The Kitchen in the 8th arrondissement. It was very close to our Airbnb. This was one of the only restaurants open because it was 11 a.m. and most people were still having pastries. It was also right next to Champs-Elysees, so we popped into a few stores, especially because I'm trying to find the embroidered Zara pajamas. We then caught an Uber over to the Sainte-Chapelle Notre Dame area. The lines for both were insane, and I was unable to get tickets in advance, but we were able to peek from the outside, and I do think the Notre Dame no-ticket line was moving pretty fast. The plan from here was to walk over to the Place des Vosges and just wander around and see what we stumbled upon, and randomly ended up passing a ton of the things I actually wanted to do later on in the trip. The first being Le Grand Mazarin, which is an adorable hotel. It's kind of tucked away in a side street, and I saw the tiniest sign as we were passing it, and I dragged my family in to check it out. If you go downstairs, there is the most stunning pool. I've had pictures of this place saved for so long, so I'm glad I got to see it in person. Stumbling onto all these hidden gems really helped keep the spirits high considering we were running on zero sleep. Right after this, we were walking down another random street, and I looked up and I saw the sign for Officine Universal Bully, which is the store that everyone gets the custom lip glosses and combs at. I spent a solid 45 minutes deciding because there were so many options, but I love the 2 things that I settled on. There was also a really cute pedestrian only street, and then finally we made it to the Place des Vosges. At this point, we needed to get ready for dinner, so we called an Uber. It ended up being a 45-minute ride, so I fell asleep. I did a quick outfit change, and then we headed out for dinner at La Perla, which is an Italian restaurant, and it was tucked away on another one of these pedestrian-only streets. This restaurant was pretty close to the Louvre, which stays open late on weekends, and that's where we were heading after dinner. We walked around a little bit, but then started to get worried about the time, so we hopped in an Uber. I also didn't realize how massive this museum is, so we got dropped off in the wrong area and had to walk quite a while, but eventually we found the pyramid and entered through here. I would highly recommend a weekend night visit to avoid lines. I need to go back to Paris just for more time at the Louvre, but our main goal was to see the Mona Lisa, so we headed over there. The architecture in here is amazing, and we had to pass the Winged Victory statue to get to the Mona Lisa. There was a bit of a crowd, but nothing as crazy as I've seen it can get up to in the afternoon. From here, we just wandered around some other rooms. I loved this one because it had beautiful artwork on the ceiling. I also really wanted to find the fashion exhibit, but we got a little bit lost and couldn't figure it out, and then they were giving last call to get out of the museum, which also took forever. I definitely did not pick the right shoes to wear for this. We ended up so far from the main entrance by the time we were above ground, but we walked back over to do the classic pyramid picture before heading back to the Airbnb and ending the night with a freezing cold shower because there's no hot water.